Okay, most of this you don't even need a calculator for. Is 6.1 part 2. Let me get my cap off my pen. We can start. These first problems are ridiculously easy. Write an inequality that describes a situation. Inequality means greater than or less than. That's what that means. Prices for rides start at $19.99. You need to use a variable R for rides, and then put a little space and then $19.99. So we're either going to write greater than or less than. Well, that's where these come into play, and they're on the board too. The word starting at is another word for greater than or equal to. That's all you do. You don't have to graph it. Speed limit on the interstate is 75 miles per hour, so I use the variable S for speed and 75. Now if it's a limit, okay, that's like saying it can be less than or equal to it. Okay. A person must be at least 35 years old to be elected President of the United States. Use A and then 35. At least, okay. So at least is another phrase for greater than or equal to. Okay, and then every object on Earth travels less than 186,000 miles per second. V, because it's velocity, and then 186,000. Okay, and then less than, you're just going to use the less than without the equals to. Okay, that's all you're doing on that. Those are easy, pretty much a walk in the park. Now it gets a little slightly more challenging, because then the next page is still definitely, you don't need you don't make any calculations for writing inequalities, okay? My goal is to earn $300 selling cookies and donuts. Cookies cost 50 cents each. Cookies are going to be represented with the letter C. Donuts are 75 cents each, represented by the letter D. Write an inequality to represent my goal. So the word goal is circled, okay? When you set a goal, you can be greater than or equal to the goal. Okay, what is the goal? 300. Now, what are two money amounts that are going to help me get to 300? Well, I see two of them. I see the 50 cents and I see 75 cents. You're going to want to write those down, okay? Now, if I just sell one of them, that is not going to meet the goal. They have to come in multiples, okay? So 50 cents is multiplied by C, and then 75 cents by D, okay? So you write a plus sign down, so you're going to be selling 50 cents times C plus 75 cents times D, and then you leave it. That's your answer, okay? And then this one's kind of the same as this one. My goal is to earn $1,000 selling t-shirts and hoodies. T-shirts cost $9.99 each. Those are going to be represented by T. Hoodies are $20 each, represented by H. Write an inequality to represent the goal. So the goal, just like here, it's going to be greater than or equal to $1,000. Okay, now what are the two money amounts that help me get $1,000? Well, there's $9.99 for the t-shirts and the hoodies are $20. Now obviously those have to come in multiples, because just adding those, that'd be $29.99, which is not going to meet my goal of 1,000. So times T and times H. So we have 9.99 times T plus 20 times H. Okay, make sure that plus is there. Okay, now that was writing inequalities. Okay, you just wrote the inequality and said, okay, awesome. Now you're going to solve a problem and rewrite the answer with an inequality. Here's how this is done. It's done almost exactly like we have been doing it. 5 pounds X of pasta salad serves 14 people. Why? We have is in bold, but it's not a unit. Okay, that's to help you later on at the end of the problem. We have 17.5 pounds of salad. Write an inequality that represents how many people we can serve with what we have. Now in parentheses, I've kind of simplified what it is you're doing. You need to solve this problem for the people and rewrite the answer with an inequality. So you're going to start the problem the same way you have been, pounds and people. Okay, so pounds, people. Now I've told you in this problem what to label X and Y. Okay, X is pounds, Y is people. So per, it'd be per pound, because it's always per X, and then people per pound. Now we don't know what the people per pound is, okay? Sorry, that just fell on the floor. Okay. We don't know what the people per pound is, and I'm going to put question mark. Now I could find it if I had to, but I'm going to make my table see if I have to. So X and Y. Guys, label your X and Y on the table. X is pounds. Y is people. So since we don't have this, we'll go 0 and then block it, okay? And then I fill in 5 pounds. Make sure you put the 5 under the X, because X is pounds. People's Y. Okay, and then we have 17 pounds, 0.5 pounds, and then question mark people, because that's the answer to the problem. Now if I have 0 pounds, 0 people are going to eat. Okay, that part's obvious, so I make a proportion where I can cross multiply and divide. Okay, now remember, it's Y over X. That's a Y there. Okay. Okay, so put your Y label on top. People, people, pounds, and pounds. Then you just put the numbers. You have 5 pounds, 14 people. Okay, now the question's asking if you have 17.5 pounds, how many people do you have? Okay, you can write Y, you just write P for people. Okay, then cross multiply and divide. 14 times 17.5 divided by 5, 49. Now that is what I normally put if I'm just solving, but it says you need to rewrite the answer with an inequality. So you put P and 49. Now if you have something, that's why have is highlighted, okay? If you have something, then you can't go more than. You can't go more than what you have, so it'll be less than or equal to 49, okay? Alright, let's do another one like that one. A florist is making centerpieces. 5 centerpieces, which is going to be represented with X, require 24 roses, which is represented by Y. We have 96 roses. Write an inequality for how many centerpieces we can make. Like the last problem, you need to solve the problem for the centerpieces and rewrite the answer with an inequality. Okay? So you got roses and centerpieces. Okay, so centerpieces is X, roses is Y. So per X, always per X. Roses per centerpiece. And again, we don't have that information, so question mark, that was not given to us. Now label your X and Y. Roses is Y, centerpiece is X. Okay, so since I don't have this, I don't go 0, 1, 2. I go 0 and block off. So 5 centerpieces, 24 roses. 96 roses, so I'm figuring out how many centerpieces that would be. Now if you don't need any centerpieces, you don't need any roses. So again, just like last problem. Now remember, in a proportion, it's always the Y over the X. Okay, what's your Y label? Roses. And then centerpieces and centerpieces. Okay, so 5 centerpieces would be 24 roses, and then 96 roses. I'm going to put C for centerpieces because I don't have that. So I take 5 times 96 divided by 24, and I got 20. So you can write 20, but then at the end you got to write it as an inequality. Okay, so put C in 20, and if you have something, okay, have, you ain't going to go over it, it's less than or equal. Okay, that's